This right here is the Black Widow double e-bike carrier, and it is going to be perfect if you're going to be using a larger, wider e-bike such as this Rad Wagon 4, or if you're using over there, I have the Rad Wagon Plus with a basket on it. Now, my problem was that a lot of times when I was looking for an e-bike carrier, they were too kind of narrow and they're too kind of close together. So I wouldn't be able to have my basket, or over here, I wouldn't be able to have my caboose on my Rad Wagon 4. And so that was kind of one of my biggest issues. However, I did find this double dirt bike carrier, which has a load capacity of up to 600 pounds. And it's going to be perfect if you're going to be transporting two larger and wider e-bikes. And one fantastic thing that you will absolutely love about it is that the retail price of this is only about $300 US, which is relatively inexpensive for bike carriers. So although I really do enjoy this bike carrier, there are a few things that aren't the greatest. The first thing is the weight. I mean, overall, it's made out of aluminum as well as steel, and it has a max capacity of 600 pounds. So yeah, it's going to be heavy. And this thing, I think, is about 69 pounds. So it's fairly heavy to kind of carry. But you know, I'm about 5'8" and about 190 pounds, 185 pounds. And I can carry it for short distances, but if you need to lug it to a far location, I might not be the greatest. The other thing is that it doesn't fold up. So, you know, it is big, but you can stand it up against the wall. So if you did have some free space along the side of your house or anything like that, that would be a great spot for that. Also, it does fit a nice standard barbecue cover. Sorry, barbecue cover will fit over top of it. So if you want to kind of store it outdoors and in the rain, you can kind of throw a larger barbecue cover over top of it. And the last thing that you have to be aware of is that you cannot access your trunk because once the bikes are up there, there is no tilting feature or anything like that. So you can't, so once you kind of, have your bikes on there, you can't really access the trunk unless you got to get it from the inside of your car. To mount this bike rack, you will need a 2-inch receiver. It's fairly simple. You just gotta load it in, put the hitch pin in, and then you also gotta like tighten up that little anti-tip bracket there with a wrench. Okay, so a couple things first. The first thing you wanna do is you wanna make sure your trunk is closed. So make sure you get everything out of there. The second thing that you wanna make sure that you want to do is you want to prepare all of the ratchet straps. Make sure that they are hooked on and ready to go. And then the orientation of where your wheels will go or where your bikes will be facing is if you are looking down, there's kind of like a wider space right here, and there's also a wider space right there. That is where the front of the wheel of your bike will sit onto, meaning that you should probably put the ramp on the opposite side of that. The other thing that you want to make sure is you want to put in the heavier bike towards the back of or towards the closer part of your vehicle, and the lighter bike on the outside. One last thing is make sure you take off the battery and any kind of heavy things like bike locks off of your bike, just so you want to make your bike as light as possible when loading onto the ramp. Okay, so now let's mount on the bikes. All right. After you have tightened the straps, you want to make sure you wiggle the bike just to make sure there's enough tension downwards that it's not going to fall. And then you just want to kind of even it out, make sure your bike is level. And then lastly, you want to put on the safety straps just onto the handlebars. One thing is these ratchet straps are, I think they're the Max ratchet straps, and they're kind of made specifically for this kind of dirt bike or e-bike kind of thing, and it's awesome. I would highly recommend that you guys get the Max straps. There are different brands as well. I haven't used them, but these ones are the ones that came recommended from Black Widow, and so far they have been absolutely amazing. Perfect fit. Anyways, so once you got this first bike on and you make sure that it is nice and tight, and you know, you got it's not gonna go anywhere. Then we'll move on to the next bike. We'll take that ramp and then we'll just kind of put it on the opposite side. So now we're gonna load up that second e-bike right now. And then so we got the ramp down, we got our straps ready to go. And now we're going to put that, I do want to stand on the outside just so I can ramp it up. I'm gonna have 2 hands on it just to kind of get that initial thing up, grab it from the back to help push it up, and just kind of roll it straight on. Boom. And now this nice front tire sits nicely in that little groove right there, and then now we just gotta put the straps up. So these little hooks are great. You just wanna, hook it onto the actual handlebar. That's solidly on. So it's nice and tight right now. Test both bikes just to kind of make sure that there's no wiggle and wobble. I mean, this Rad Wagon, it does extend out, so it's a little bit longer. One thing that I did when I went up on a trip to Whistler, I did take it once to Whistler, and that was probably like a 2.5 hour trek up. But I did add another ratchet strap, just a standard ratchet strap, and kind of tied it down even further just to hold that rear end thing. And sorry, one other thing just to note is that with the caboose on, it does stick out past my mirrors on my car. So you want to make sure that you take off this bag right there, this pannier bag, and you don't have anything sticking out. Otherwise, you might potentially hit something, which definitely don't want to do. But the biggest key thing is look how much space there is between these two e-bikes. I have my caboose here, and you look at where the handlebars are, and up there's tons of space. And yeah, that's something I really like about this bike rack. Lots of space. And then for this ramp right here, you can just kind of pick that up and throw it into your car or anything like that. So let's wrap this video up. I think this Black Widow dirt bike carrier is going to be your best, most affordable option if you're going to be transporting 2 larger and wider e-bikes. Yeah, I mean, I spent quite a bit of time looking online, and yeah, there's a few more expensive options or other ones that are more, narrower, but I feel like this is the best bang for the buck that's out there. So great job, Black Widow, for that. I mean, again, I already mentioned that it's not perfect, but yeah, it does a pretty damn good job. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this review, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and definitely don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Desy31.